He's made a massive impact for the Tigers on and off the field. Austin Romine, one of the heroes for the Tigers tonight, and he joins us here on Tigers Live. What a feeling this must be. Back-to-back series wins against two really good baseball teams, too, for you guys.
Yeah, no, we're grinding right now. Coming off some losses there early, but we're fighting every game for every series we can win. We're coming out here trying to win series. So.
A lot of pitches thrown tonight, Austin, and you had to navigate a lot of emotion too, right? The game started out where you had a lot of guys left on base, and then you finally get the lead with a huge inning, and then all of a sudden it gets real exciting at the end. Talk a little bit about how you, as a catcher, try to get those pitchers to throw the ball where you want it.
Well, you just try and keep them down the zone. Make sure you're sequencing up the pitches in the proper order and getting them in positions where they can't get hurt. We got a big center field, and trying to stay away and down and trying to make them beat us the long way.
Hey, how do you stay with it when you leave some runners on early, in that bottom part of that order with you and Maben kind of stirring that pot? How do you guys stay with it to take advantage of the runners in scoring position later in the game?
Yeah, you could have easily had Maben on here talking to you guys. He's been a spark plug for us. He's a great guy in the clubhouse, great guy on the team. He's playing hard tonight. He's just swinging. He's setting the table, getting it done. So, a lot of guys with big swings, good. He got a good swing there, kind of put us out in front a little bit. And then Scopey, wow, how good has he been to just continue to get big base hits in big situations. That base hit up the middle, it's huge for us.
Talk about how you have to stay calm in certain situations. Kimbrough came in there, and it was pretty much fastball, fastball, fastball until he got ahead, and then he threw that little slider. But other guys in your at-bats earlier, you're getting a lot of fastballs out over the plate, and you ended up hitting a couple off the wall in right field.
Yeah, with Kimbrough, a little slider. I wouldn't call it a little slider. It's a pretty good slider.
I shouldn't call it a little. So you're right.
But no, they try and pound some of us in, and guys that are aggressive as myself, and I'm just trying to push them out over the plate. I got lucky tonight. Got a couple balls, fought a couple good ones off, and was able to put the barrel on the ball.
I don't know if it's luck. We were talking about you all season long, how you go to right field. Is that by design? I see you work on that in batting practice a lot, but overall, is it by design for you?
Yeah, I'm going where the pitch is. I haven't been the best hitter of inside pitches, so why look for them? Beat yourself in the ground trying to hit something you can't hit. Try and push the ball out over the plate, cover sliders and fastballs out over, and try not to do too much. Just hit that hole in between first and second and take your base hit.
I don't know if this will surprise you, but first home series win since May 3rd through the 5th against the Kansas City Royals. You were a big part of it. Thanks for the time, man.
I appreciate it. Let's have some more.
Yeah, thanks, Austin.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
I feel everyone's going to handle things the way they feel they need to handle it, and things have to change in this world, man, and things have to stop. It's right and wrong, and that's what's going on is wrong. So if guys choose to sit out, and that's how they want to send their message, then I'm all for it. I didn't choose to do that, but I do recognize that things have to change.
Absolutely. It's kind of hard to go on from that topic, but you guys have won 2 series in a row. You put the losing streak in the rear view a little bit now. How much momentum do you feel is starting to build here?
Yeah, it's good baseball going on right now. Both sides, everyone's playing a game the way it's supposed to be played, and we show up every day to work, and we're excited every day when we show up to the field. So everyone's ready to compete, and we just got to keep it going. Find a way to just keep it going.
Thanks, appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris. Our next question comes from Cody Stavenhagen from The Athletic.
Hey, Niko. How or when did you see as the Brewers and other teams weren't playing tonight? And what did you think when you saw that news? Obviously a pretty historic moment in the sport.
No, as a team, it shows, unity. Like I said, that's what they chose to do as a team, and that's what they did, and I'm all for it. Things have to change in this world, in this country. It can't keep going on the way it is. People that look like me are getting shot, by the police. So it can't. It's messed up. Every day you turn the TV on, you're seeing the same thing. Is something has to change, and that's the way they're going about it. And I'm all for it. Like I said.
So did you guys have any sort of meeting as a team, or how did you come to the decision to play tonight?
As individuals. We saw that the NBA, they canceled their games, and then some games in the MLB got canceled, and some guys sat out. Mookie and J.A. sat out. That's the 2 guys that I know that did it, and like I said, everyone is going about it how they feel they need to go about it. It's the individual decision that everyone's making, or a team decision, and they decided to sit out to show how they felt about it. So like I said, everyone doing what they feel is right.
How have you kind of dealt with some of this stuff, I don't know, just in your head over the past few months with what's going on in the country and being a black athlete and how those things have kind of intersected,
Chad, I can hear him.
He was asking about how you kind of dealt over the past few months with being a black athlete, and how sports and culture kind of intersected over the last few months.
It's bigger than sports. This is a game we play, and what's going on is much bigger than a baseball game or any sport that any game that's going on. These are lives that are being lost, day in and day out of the same thing, and it's a shame that it's going on the way it is. Things need to change. So before I come to the field, I have to leave my house. I'm a human being just like everyone else, and I have to make it to the field. So those are things that we shouldn't have to worry about. Is if going to the field, is something going to happen, or if I get pulled over, is something going to happen. I shouldn't have to fear that when I get up in the morning. So things, like I said, things have to change, and it's bigger than sports.
Thank you, Niko. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cody. We'll go next to Evan Petzold from the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, just one quick follow-up on that. You mentioned that it's kind of an individual decision, right, on what certain guys want to do. How do you make that decision for yourself, right? I mean, how do you weigh, playing versus not playing, or how you want to go about that? Is it just a straight-up decision, or is there, a thought process that kind of goes into that for you?
Well, for me, is what's going to impact the most. What's gonna be a change? Is it me not playing today? Is that gonna spark the change? So there's just different things you have to think about when you make decisions like this. So I decided to play, and I support the guys that did not play and the guys that did play. So like I said, it's something that you guys sit down and think about. To speak to your family maybe to come to the best decision for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Evan. If there are any other questions for Niko, please put those in the chat. We'll go to Lauren Williams from M Live.
Hi, Niko. I'm just kind of curious about what are your plans. Sorry about the feedback. I was just curious, what do you plan to do moving forward to maybe do the change that you want to see, or affect the change that you want to see, other than speaking with your family members?
That's something that I'll have to think about. Like I said, figuring out a way to group some guys together, or like I said, we speak to family members. We have to figure something out, and that's what I plan to do. And I hope that we can do as a sport, professional baseball. So just brainstorming some things that could shed light or bring change. So that's something that we all have to think about.
Before we talk about the game, was there any discussion in your clubhouse about any kind of not playing or protest or any kind of thing? Other teams obviously postponed the game.
I think we had some conversation with the ball club on the other side. Our players did, and our players decided we're going to play together as a unit here, and with an understanding of what's going on, in this world and this country, that we got to fix these things, and we're all a part of it, and we all got each other's backs in here, and we did talk about that part of it in the clubhouse. So tough day. It's really hard, and the decisions were made by our guys. We're going to play.
Okay. About the game, using Joe in the sixth, is that just to get him work, or is that something indicative of who the closer is?
No, we after his last outing on the road, Andy had talked to him, and he's a little out of whack, a little frustrated overthrowing the ball, so we decided we're going to try to get him in, if you possibly can, in a major league game, get him in a situation where it's a little easier on him right now, so he's not trying to overthrow. And he made one bad pitch. He threw one to the backstop, but I thought the ball was coming out a little better, and I talked to Pico about it, and he's still just jumping at it and not letting it happen, and I think he's a little frustrated. So Andy had told me before he left that he had talked to Hemi, and Hemi agreed he needed to, find it before we start putting him back in that closer role. So we'll give him a little bit of time here, and then we'll go from there.
Are you committing to Buck as the closer, or is it situation?
We just went with the lineups tonight, and it ended up, Soto had those big guys in that inning again, and then you go to the Buck at the end. So we just went, through their lineup and said, this guy fits here, this guy fits here. We've got all the info and data that we need, and we got it there. Brian had a little bit of a trouble. We had to pick him up with Cisnero. We didn't really want to use Cisnero, but we needed to get out of that inning. So we just tried to work our way through it to the end. I mean,
that all things considered, you won 2 series in a row. The offense came alive today. So there's that ninth inning didn't detract from any of that momentum. I wouldn't think. A W's a W, right?
Well, it might have taken a few years off to a life at the end of it, but it was one of those that really had me. There was really nowhere to go. We had Roney and we had Schreiber, pretty much. That was it left. And so Buck was going to have to hang with them and get them out. And yeah, it was very entertaining on the bench that last inning.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Our next question comes from Jason Beck from MLB.com.
Yeah, Gardy, what did you see from your hitters against Lester for those first 5 innings?
Well, he was tough. Once you figure out kind of the pattern, what he's doing, we saw video. I watched video. I think most of the players watch video of him. And, cutting the ball inside a lot is his go-to, getting it on your hands. And the guy can pitch. He's done this for a long, long time. And we didn't do that much damage to him until a little bit later. Then we got after him pretty good, and we put a big inning out there again later. So, we put a lot of good swings out there. We had a ton of hits, and that's fun to see. Hopefully we can keep that up. We're going to need that against the next team coming in here too, because they can really hit, and we're going to have to some way, get Matthew Boyd through that game against those guys tomorrow and get some big outs for us and figure out how we're going to finish it. So got a lot on the table right now, but our guys are swinging it. They're getting after it pretty good.